Wow. The 49ers just lost 20-17 to Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. And really, Geno Smith didn't even play well, but on the final drive of the game, he had about 2.5 minutes in the timeout to march down the field, and the Niners let him march right down the field. And the way he scored was finally, after like 3 years of facing the 49ers, realizing that the scramble is always available. He scrambled for 12 yards. 2 plays later, he scrambled for a touchdown. End of game, he jogged into the end zone. It was embarrassing for the 49ers, but the defense isn't the reason they lost. They lost because Kyle Shanahan's offense was putrid. And putrid is nice. It could have been worse, but Brock Purdy and Jawan Jennings carried the offense the entire game. Brock Purdy only threw for about 150-something yards, but those completions were to heavily covered receivers, usually Jawan Jennings, and when he wasn't throwing to Jennings, he was scrambling. Now, he missed a couple of checkdowns, but essentially Kyle Shanahan's plays weren't getting people open. And it was funny, I talked to Kyle Shanahan this week about giving Brock Purdy the ability to change things at the line of scrimmage. We saw Geno Smith do it over and over again in this game. Kyle Shanahan said, all the answers are built into his plays. Well, is the answer having Brock Purdy run for his life? Because he's good for that, but I don't think you drew that up. And then the other thing he said is, well, sometimes he gives Brock 2 plays, and he can choose between them at the line of scrimmage. How many times did you see Brock do that today? I was counting. The answer is 1. Did it in the fourth quarter, went can. Tossed the ball to McCaffrey, who ran left for -1 yards. So it really seems like Kyle Shanahan knows what he's doing. No, he's a fraud. He has no creativity. His offense is trash, despite having an excellent quarterback, an excellent wide receiver, and a couple of good running backs, even though he only uses one of them. Again, Jordan Mason didn't really get to play today. And you could say, well, George Kittle wasn't there. When he gets back, they're 5-5. Their odds of making the playoffs this year, forget winning the division, making the playoffs is probably less than 40%, because they couldn't score more than 17 points against Seattle with a really good quarterback. So when the 49ers fire Kyle Shanahan at the end of this season, he can look back at this game as the moment he lost it all. Went to 5-5 against Geno Smith. And so maybe next time he wants to dunk on a local beat writer on a Friday, don't lose to Geno Smith on a Sunday.